Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is a breakfast to dinner video. For breakfast I made a kuniso sambal or a dry sprat sambal. The lunch was just a typical Sri Lankan lunch, and for dinner I made it easy by making macaroni with sausages. Anyways, I'll walk you through the whole meal prep. Let's get started. So like I said, for breakfast I made this kuniso sambal. You can call it dry prawn sambal. I start off by adding some hot water to the dry prawns. This helps remove the pungent smell from the prawns. Soak the prawns in hot water for about 10 to 20 minutes and then wash it off with normal water. Leave it aside so that the water drains off. Next, I went ahead and started frying the prawns. Now for this, when you're frying the prawns, be very careful because they can get over fried very quickly. It's just a matter of maybe a minute for the most that you will need to get these prawns fried. So just make sure your heat for the oil is medium to low, and as you fry them, keep an eye so that you don't over fry these. Now some people don't like to keep the heads of the dry sprats on, so you can remove them if you like. Some use it to make chili paste later on, but I didn't remove all of the heads. I just removed few of them and left the rest because that's how we liked it. Once that was done, I went ahead and chopped some onions, some green chilies and some tomatoes. To a pot, add the onions, the green chilies, the chopped tomatoes, some salt, some curry leaves, pandan leaves, and some chili pieces, dry chili pieces, and some oil. And mix all these together with your hands. I highly recommend you use your hands. Don't use a spoon. Use your hands and mix it very well. Next, all you need to do is stir fry this onion mixture in low to medium heat. And once the onions are well cooked, you can go ahead and add those fried dry prawns. And you can add some lime, and then you can add a little bit of water if you feel that you want the onions to get a little bit more cooked. Keep it covered and cook for about 5 minutes. And that's it, your kuniso sambal or your dried sprat sambal is ready. Now as for my kids, they like to have this with bread and butter. It's really tasty when you have it like as a sandwich. As for us adults, we like to have it with pol roti or coconut roti or with rice. It tastes really good. Now for lunch, since I had some leftover potato curry from last night, I just added by making some fish curry and some beans with milk. Now once the beans were washed, I went ahead and started cutting them into small pieces. Now I know cutting beans in this manner is a very time-killing process, but I have realized over years that when you cut beans like this, split it open into two and cut them into halves or whatever sizes you want, the beans taste way better. I used to cook by just cutting them into bit-sized pieces, but now I love cooking the beans this way, even though it takes time. Cut some garlic and some onions and keep it aside. Into a pot, add the beans, the cut garlic and onions, some curry leaves, some oil and some salt and turmeric. Or you can cook these beans by adding only oil and keep stir frying them till the beans are well done, but then that will require a lot of oil. So instead, once the beans are halfway done, I add a little bit of water and I keep it closed for some time, and then once it's cooked well, I add some milk, coconut milk. That will help me to reduce the amount of oil that I use to cook the beans. Once the beans were cooked, I moved on to making the fish curry. Now this is a very simple fish curry, no fuss. Once I was done cleaning the fish, I went ahead and cut up some onions, and meanwhile in a pot I heated up some oil and put some chili powder and stir fried it in the oil. Make sure not to burn the chili powder. And I took about 2 to 3 tomatoes and grind them to a paste. Then I add the tomato paste to the oil. Then also I added chopped onions and the curry leaves. Add some water and don't forget to add salt as per your taste. And along with that, add the coconut milk and let the gravy boil for about 15 minutes before you add the fish in. Once that's boiled, you can go ahead and add the fish. Now for dinner, I didn't want to spend too much time in the kitchen, so I made some macaroni with sausages. As usual, you start off by boiling the macaroni first. Add a good amount of salt to the boiled water. While that was boiling, I got on to cutting the sausages into bite-sized pieces, and then I stir-fried them with oil. The macaroni I make over here is very basic and straightforward. There are days that I go through the whole process of making a really delicious macaroni and cheese, which is entirely different from this method. I'll post that another day when I'm making that recipe. Now for this, I start off by adding some butter, and once the butter is melted, I went ahead and added some milk. Since my kids love cheese, I went ahead and added some cheese. Add some salt and pepper. Once the milk has boiled and the cheese has melted, you can go ahead and add the boiled macaroni. You can add more like this if you want a more creamier texture. I wanted to add some extra flavor, so I went ahead and diluted 2 small Maggi vegetable cubes and added it. So that's all for today's video. I hope you guys liked it. Please give it a thumbs up if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. So until next time, take care, and Ayubowan from Sri Lanka.